Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today the new patch is upon us with hopefully improved pathing, because after years and years of begging for it, finally the developers have given it to us, I hope. Forget the bread, forget the circuses, just give us better movement for our units, as Hera, playing as the Franks in red, takes on Mr. Yo, playing as the Saracens in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings with all manner of livestock and horses, domesticated and not, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the civilization matchup, because man, oh man, is it a doozy that we will be watching today. Now the Franks, this is the OG cavalry civilization, harkening back all the way to the previous century, 1998, 99, 97, whatever the hell it was. They are the OG Age of Kings cavalry civilization. Their knights come with extra line of sight, their stables can be upgraded to work faster, and all of their mounted units come with 20% more HP starting in Feudal Age. Now to support their heavy cavalry on the battlefield against pesky, annoying things like halberdiers and possibly, big question mark, camels, the Franks can turn to their unique unit, the Throwing Axemen, a ranged infantry unit similar to the Malian Gabeto, whose range can be even further increased. Now to help a player produce and train as many Throwing Axemen as possible, Frankish castles do come at a 15% discount in Castle Age and 25% discount in Imperial. To feed a big militaristic population ready to go out and kill some enemy units, Frankish foragers do work faster and they get all their mill upgrades for free. Hera gathering some villagers here, hanging out and then shooting down the boar. Let's take a look at our Saracen, Mr. Yo in blue, a civilization whose strong market can be used to gain an early to mid-game advantage over their opponents. To start with, Saracen markets only cost 75 wood, and their commodity trading fee is fixed at 5%, which is significantly lower than the 30% that other civilizations have to pay when they, for example, buy food earlier on in the game. Now, using this economic advantage, the Saracens can field quite a hard-hitting, tanky army. Their foot archers come with an attack bonus against buildings, which makes their Feudal Age aggression very, very scary. Their camel units come with 25% more HP. Their trebs, their mangonels, and their onagers can all be upgraded to increase their attack. And their unique unit, the Mameluke, is a ranged melee camel unit that comes with a pretty big attack boost, against cavalry. Now, if after a big battle some of your units are damaged, the Saracens can upgrade their monks to passively and automatically heal all units within a 5-tile radius. This is the amazing civilization matchup. We saw it on Arena not too long ago, where our Frank went, I'll do spoiler alerts just because I think it's been over a week or so. If you haven't seen that game, definitely go back and watch it. Our Frank prevailing with some Throwing Axemen. The Saracens with the Mamelukes just couldn't get the job done, despite having a lot of longevity to their army. And by the way, speaking of longevity, that Bimaristan upgrade is going to give the Saracens a significant boost to how long their units stay alive, because if you can heal all, not one, not two, all of your units within a 5-tile radius going in each direction in a big circle at a rate of 75 HP per minute, yeah, you're going to keep a lot more of your units around a lot longer. In any event, let's take a look at the bases and see where the players have spawned while they both sit on 17, 18, 19 villagers, both getting loom, and both looks like about to click up to not Imperial, Feudal Age. Hera, primary gold, nice and safe behind this big forest in the forward position. His primary stone to the back, and then he's got additional gold piles, a secondary one over here and another one to the right of his base. Neither one too far, but both of them very exposed away from this central portion of his settlement, with some extra stone and a relic and even more stone in the back. This is a lot of easily accessible stone here for our Frank, and as we know, the Franks love their frickin' castles. Now our Saracen, primary gold, nice and secure in the back. Primary stone off to the side. I don't expect this to be an attack path for our Frank. Also has a forest in the forward position. We'll take a look at forests in a second here. Additional gold to the back, additional gold to the front, and then another stone pile very exposed to the front of the settlement, very far off campus. But I'm looking at the minimap. One thing our Saracen has that our Frank does not is 11,000, let's call it 12,000. Let's round up. Let's be generous here. 12,000 wood in the back, whereas Hera doesn't really have much, unless you count this as the back. But I suspect we're not going to see a wall off this way. If we're going to see a wall off at all, it will be this way. Both players now in Feudal. Let's see what they decide to do. Our Frank going with an archery range, because of course, after I say they're the OG cavalry civilization, he has to build an archery range. I don't mind the forests in a bit of a triangle shape. Easy wall off to the north, easy wall off to the east. The south is a little exposed. We'll see how Hera decides to deal with this. Mr. Yo's base, though, I mean, this is a turtler's dream base. Easy to wall off here. I mean, not so easy, but he's already starting to. Mr. Yo never one to shy away from pretty big wall offs. The forward a bit easy to wall off, and the south also pretty damn easy to wall off, especially, remember, oh, there's that 10-minute glitch that we all love. And then that I love pointing out. But one thing that needs to be noted, because the Saracen market only costs 75 wood, and because of its size, this is an absolute fantastic structure to help defend any kind of feudal age aggression. Because when archers pop out, generally they have 4 range. Skirmishers come with even less range. Well, no, never mind. Oh my god, I got completely confused there. Never mind. 4 range for everyone, and a building that's 4x4 tiles means that without the upgrades, without fletching, looks like neither player really getting any upgrades at the moment. That cheap Saracen market is a fantastic part of any wall off. A little bit of a trouble here for our Saracen as one spearman already enters his base. Hera recently has made it very clear that he is in love with a spearman rush because of their speed. They do outrun villagers, whereas militias are a little bit slower. Our Saracen is fighting back, managed to get a kill of his own, but Hera here already gets the Saracen to retreat. Oh my goodness, this is not good for Mr. Yo. His base has been breached, but look at the minimap. Not exactly a lot of reinforcements heading this way. No reinforcements at all, actually. So Hera, again, he's lately been pretty fanboying over these spearmen, especially when he practices his Armenian build and they come in the Dark Age. Remember, the Armenians get spearmen in Dark Age, which is just pretty bonkers. But he's here. He's trying to trap these gold miners as Mr. Yo circles the front of his opponent's base. It looked like his cavalry was a little bit here to the rear, but all of the action firmly inside the Saracen base. Is Mr. Yo going to sneak a villager to the south here to repair and rebuild that wall off to trap these units here? No, he loses another unit, actually 2 units. Kill count 4-1 for our Frank, who is continuing to push. Not much that Mr. Yo can do here against these skirmishers. He can wall himself in here with a palisade wall here, a palisade wall here, maybe against the spearman and the scout, but not against the skirmishers, because they will just annoy the hell out of these villagers. It's like being beaten to death with a scented shoelace, to quote Terry Pratchett. And in come the 2 scouts, in come some skirmishers. Mr. Yo has built an army here, but he is losing a lot. 2 dead villagers. And Hera gets one of these scouts. The other one has a pretty good amount of HP. Looks like Mr. Yo's microing this scout a little bit, thinking that these skirmishers are targeting that scout. But essentially, once Hera loses this last spearman, which happened just now, this army is donezo, although manages to get a spearman with his last dying breath. And look at that kill count evened up. Although, once again, it is our Saracen who dies. Rather, oh my god, who has 2 villagers die and is now 3 villagers behind, but he is the first to click up to Castle Age. So a fantastic defense there. Number 1, a fantastic breach into the base by Hera, and number 2, a fantastic defense by Mr. Yo against the breach, and now his units have to go a bit to the south. Oh yeah, no, there's no way he can get out of here. He is full on Howard Hughes as Mr. Yo. No one gets in, no one gets out, especially not with these 3 houses to the south. And like I said, this is the Turtler's dream base. He is secure in all positions as he begins moving out across the map. It looks like Hera doesn't really want to wall off the south of his base. Got a bit of a housing jet here in the south, but the north, there's just the one spearman patrolling, which for now should be enough as this scout approaches. Ooh, Mysterio sees it, immediately retreats, and immediately continues with his skirmishers, but really no player very interested right now in engaging into the other player. This is literally the extent of the Frankish army. And this scout and these skirmishers, with the exception of one archer who is still garrisoned inside this archery range, is the extent of the Saracen army. And it looks like Hera just gives up on this scout, says, you know what, I'm gonna die a rich man. I'm gonna die on this pile of gold here. To live and die as a Lannister. It looks like our Saracen will hit Castle Age literally 10 or so seconds, 13 seconds ahead of his opponent. And immediately our upgrades for these existing units, attack and range for the skirmishers, HP for our scout units. That being said, Hera is moving out on the map. I don't know how much Mr. Yo will be able to get done here. He does get a villain, man. Sometimes I can call things. Sometimes I get things completely wrong. I didn't think he would get that villager. It must have been a weakened villager from before. And now Monsieur spreads out his skirmishers because of their minimum range. They can't really clump up against this scout, but okay. Oh my goodness. While that happens, Hera is dropping a castle right in Mr. Yo's face, and Mr. Yo, our camel civilization, is going cav archers to try to stop this. 3, even 4 cav archers are not going to be able to stop this castle. It's already a third done. It looks like that scout did manage to kill the last 2 skirmishers there to the north of Hera's base, and Mr. decides to delete his own house. He needs access to these villagers, but a monk moves forward. Let's see. Oh, he converts the archer. The archer that was making his way all the way around here after being garrisoned inside this archery range for so long. And the Frankish castle is up. A siege workshop is following up. Rather, the follow-up is a siege workshop. So I'm sorry. I don't know why my sentences are being said in reverse all of a sudden today. The Mr. Yo does have the better army here. I mean, these aren't really Persian cav archers with Parthian tactics and Castle Age, but they will get the job done. What are their upgrades? +2 attack and range, no armor upgrades at the moment. But what Mr. Yo doesn't have is anything to deal with this. Is he putting down his own siege workshop? Yes, he is. Okay, so I'm expecting a mangonel to come out so that this ram gets zoned out. We'll see how much damage he can get done in the back of Hera's base. Hera already preemptively evacuates the wood line and puts down a very defensive castle. A monk is here already, should get a conversion. I don't think anyone researched devotion, the new technology. If you haven't seen my video about devotion, feel free to check it out. Castle attacking archery range, battering ram attacking a barracks. Is he training a mangonel? Yes, he is. Okay, so I did call one thing right. More reinforcements. So Mr. Yo's response here is, look, I'll give you your sphere of influence here. Take down a few structures. I don't really care. I'm going to bring a mangonel, and that's basically going to nullify your entire attack here because your battering ram won't be able to do much. On the other hand, I'm going to go to your base and make sure that you are crippled economically, that your villagers have to make the arduous journey from here to here, that they have to garrison inside the town center. Not only garrison, but look how much idle time these villagers have just moving around, being repurposed by our Frank, left, right. They don't know where the hell to go. And now they start their journey again. Monsieur needs to get ballistics. He has ballistics, never mind. Didn't really look like he had ballistics there for a second until this villager started moving and he got gunned down. Another town center for our Saracen, who again is going to be able to defend this mangonel. I don't think Hera can convert this mangonel at the moment. He is repairing it. And so Mr. Yo has given Hera his little area of attack. He'll get 2 archery ranges eventually. But at the same time, how much economic damage is being done by these cav archers. Again, they're not getting a lot of kills. They've got 7 kills. Only 2 of those are villagers. But the fact that Hera has to keep moving around, to have to re-click, pay attention here or there, is just making it very annoying. But he's plopped down his own defensive castle here. And now throwing axemen are coming out in another castle. Okay, so when you take your opponent's stone, I see one of the rock piles has already disappeared. Looks like Mr. Yo lost his mangonel probably to this mangonel. Does manage to pick off the monk, which means that his cav archers are going to have a pretty good time against these throwing axemen if they venture a little bit too far away. But Hera says, you're giving me an inch, I'm going to take a mile, and puts down a second castle, which is going to nullify the town center. Oh man, the university, the market, a whole bunch of housing, maybe even this lumber camp eventually, although probably not the highest priority target. These cav archers continue. They got one more villager while we were looking away, and now Mr. Yo discovers this monastery in the center of the map where Hera has taken 2 relics. And is he going to notice this? He sees it. He sees it. Let's see how many villagers he can get here. 1. Hera doesn't react. Hera, of course, the second I say that, Hera reacts. Oh my god, 1 HP. Whoa, oh my god, look at the maneuvers out of Hera. Ah, but with ballistics, even all the fancy schmancy footwork. Is he gonna get the monk? Is he gonna get the monk? Does he notice? Yes, he does. So Mr. Yo getting a good amount of damage done here, even though he lost one of his cavalry units, his cavalry archer units, I should say. He is getting the goal to the north. What are you? Hera is moving forward with a scout. He wants to see if there's any other way to get into this base. He is going to discover that for now, there is not. Okay, maybe not. Just stopping the scout over there. And what is he training? He still has his 3 throwing axemen. He still has his mangonel. Mysterio just being so annoying with these cavalry archers. Looks like he got another villager kill as the university is now being built for our Frank. And this is just absolute epic play out of Mr. O, showing us exactly how to use cav archers. I sometimes am a little bit too critical of players when they don't use cav archers properly. This is not a very powerful unit. I mean, the base of attack of a 6 in Castle Age is not exactly a heavy hitting unit. What it does have is mobility and flexibility, and it can just be moved around endlessly. Like here, poking and prodding, the same 5 kills, 11 kills, 6 villagers. So these clumps have gotten 9 villager kills, and that is, I mean, I want to say it's crippled out Frank's economy, but look at his villager count. He is sitting on 10 more villagers. Resources collected basically identical here. Mr. Yodo has done a lot more a killin' and now has his own castle up in the center of his base. Now Hera gets ballistics probably for his castles. And for a second time, Mr. Yo moves in and makes sure that his opponent cannot take this stone safely. Hera has to run away with these 5 villagers. Not much that they can do. 13 kills now, unless this is the combined total of those 2 clumps of cav archers. Another body of cav archers, the one we just saw here next to the stone, searching for some villagers. And Hera does this so frequently nowadays. I wonder if this is going to become part of some kind of new meta that players are going to follow just because the best player in the game right now is doing it. Very aggressive forward town center. But Mr. Yo, I'm going to click a button right now to show you why he doesn't really care about that, because he's going up to Imperial Age. Hera still needs 1,000 food, is getting wheelbarrow right now. And I'm assuming once this town center completes, he's going to be training villagers out of it. Maybe not. He's got another town center, so more and more town centers. He's creating little zones of defense here. Oh, Mr. Yo overstays his welcome. 3 cav archers bite the dust. An unnecessary loss there. And these guys not really doing much up here, although they look like they did manage to kill another villager. And look at this. Mr. Yo says, okay, you want my gold? I'm just going to take a random patch of gold here to the north of the map in the middle of nowhere. Has Hera even explored this part of the map? Yeah, he has. So he knows there's gold there. Eventually, he will head over there to mine that gold if we're lucky enough to have the game go that long. And yet again, the villagers are evacuated. But look at Hera's food count. He's at 100 food. He has no clue that Mr. Yo is literally about to hit Imperial. I mean, look at the scores. He's down 1,000 points, so he must suspect. And what the hell is this? What is this? The encroachment of the town centers all of a sudden? I'm going to click the castle because I'm assuming I can count to 5 and there's going to be a treb. 1. I didn't even have to count to 5. I didn't even have to count to 1. Immediately a treb pops out, and I wonder what Hera is going to do right now. More villagers are being placed on food. It just went up from 24 to 28. More farms are being seeded. More lumber is being collected for those farms. He's got the gold. I wonder if he's just going to buy the food. Something that the Saracen usually does. Why did you build a town center here if you're not really training that many villagers? Although I guess he was training right as this mangonel shows up and... Okay, threat nullified. Throwing Axeman shoos away this Cav Archer. But we've got Mamelukes on the field, and they are going to shred through this throwing Axeman. It got literally 1 shot off, did 7 damage, and then died. And now Hera has to get the hell out of here. You can't mine this stone anymore, not with a Cav Archer and Mamelukes here. You can't mine this gold, not with a threat of mangonels. And look at that, our Saracen is introducing some knights of his own. I don't think this is a conversion. I think this is just an actual knight. And Hera has no military at all. You're looking at it. This one monk facing into the ether, getting ready to convert whatever demons, whatever aliens come from that Darkness Warhammer 40k style. And he has no army at all. He just bought 300 food, spent 500 gold to do it, and is somewhere behind these 5 villagers. 6 villagers is going up to Imperial. Okay, so he's going to Imperial on this very, very far off town center that Mr. Yo, by the way, has seen. Looks like Hera's second castle has fallen. 2 trebs. So Hera is completely abandoning his forward aggressive position. Looks like he wants to... What the? Did the Jaguar just get a kill? What is happening with the wildlife in this game? It looks like Hera wanted to mine this gold, but discovers, wait a second, there is a big fat Saracen town center there. So I am not going to be able to do that at all. It looked like there was an outline of a mining camp there for a second. So where's he going instead? Oh, that is so sour. You wanted to mine gold, but instead you have to collect lumber. The Franks, unless he's going to double down on the throwing axemen, need gold. Now, I'm trying to think whether the latest patch, the one that came out, depending on when you're watching this, either a few days ago or whenever, or yesterday, did it? I don't think it had any Frank or Saracen specific features, right? Looks like another Jaguar somewhere here is attacking these villagers who are getting stoned. I don't think there was anything particularly impactful for either of these civilizations, although actually, never mind, right as I say that, I think they shortened the Cavalier upgrade time. Oh no. I mean, why isn't he going after the monk? Did he just not expect to discover? This is hilarious. The Saracens, the Mamelukes are going after the villager. Oh my god, the villagers fight back, even the one wounded one with 8 HP, but now without the monk, it's basically a matter of micro. Does Mr. Yo want to invest in microing this? Or does he just want to get the hell out of here? It looks like all of a sudden the minimap is on fire. The Trebs, having taken down both castles, town center, and siege workshop, are now working away at this monastery that has 3 relics. These are the only 3 gathered relics in the game. Hera is about to lose control of them. He's getting block printing for his 0 monks. And there's the Cavalier upgrade, I believe. I don't want to speak out of turn. I think it's 80 seconds now to research it. I mean, I said this last time we saw these 2 civs recently face off against each other. This is a tough matchup for the Franks. Who's kidding who? Unless you want to go the much slower, like this is the arena where the map is generally smaller. There's generally one arena of attack, if I can use that word without being puntastic about it. This is Arabia. This is a big, wide open map. Going throwing axemen against a unit that has so much mobility, like this Mameluke and even Cav Archers, I don't know that that's necessarily your best bet here. So you're going to have to do something clever. You're going to have to pull something, a rabbit out of your hat, as our Saracen doubles down on the ranged units. I thought for sure we were going to get to see some camels. But in any event, looks like a mining camp behind this is being attacked. Mr. Yo is just gobbling up. I mean, even deer? At the 42-minute mark of the game, I mean, I guess free food is free food. Why the hell not? He is also going to see, by the way, these fresh stables, and he's going to know that there's a cavalry follow-up. But oh my god, it's not walled in. Oh, that is very sour. He loses a Mameluke, though, so I guess that's not too sour. And in come the monks. They did not need 12 range to convert, but maybe now they do. Let's see if they get anything. No, they don't. Okay. Well, there you go. Let's take a look at what's going on around the map, because Mr. Yo is being very aggressive right now, even though he just lost 2 of his trebs. Wow, good pickup there for Hera, seeing that Mr. Yo is not really reinforcing these trebs, not defending them with anything. Pokes in with a few cavaliers. Is he going up to Paladin? What's with the food? Oh yeah, let's see Paladin. Let's see Paladins versus Mamelukes, versus elite Mamelukes, because I've said this before. What Franks are to the Nightline units, the Saracens are to the Camel units. And this Mameluke right now just has 120 HP. I mean, where the hell did Hera's food just go? He's got to be training the... I need to... Where are his stables? Is he... Where's the... Where is it? I know there's a Paladin upgrade in here somewhere. No, it's just Cavaliers. Never mind. So our Frank is trying to shoo away this army with his long-range monks. Oh, no. His expansion down here also gets discovered. I mean, this is just an absolute bonkers amount of town centers out of both players. Has Mr. Yo, by the way, seen the monastery and housing project over here? No, he has not. Not that there's anything here anymore except one villager. And what are you? You are a lumber camp from before. Oh, Mr. Yo says enough's enough. Can take 1 of my units, take 2 of my units. I don't care. Take 3. I just want to get rid of your monks. But 4 more monks pop out of the ether, and all of a sudden the Saracen army has to get the hell out of here. All of a sudden we've got Frankish Mamelukes. All right. All right. I mean, it's 45 minutes into the game, and I feel like the game is just starting. Look at that kill count, 44 to 62. I feel like there should be an extra 100 for each player here. Hera sold 1,000 wood for 900 gold. That is not bad at all. There's one Cavalier in here who pops out at probably the worst time. Will get gunned down, but not before he takes a whole bunch of HP off of those, rather one Cav Archer. Hera's got 18 Cavaliers. Our Saracen has 1 Mameluke left. He's going Cav Archers. Well, there you go. You wanted a win condition for the Franks? Cavalier versus Cavalry Archer? I mean, it's going to be a bit tankier with a little extra armor that now that Parthian Tactics will complete. But that is definitely a win condition for the Frank here. If you're not facing... Oh, is he going to discover this? Oh, are there any villagers left? No, just a monk. And no, never mind. This villager as well. If ever there was an opportunity to win the game, because Hera... I mean, he's down in score. I usually don't put much truck in score. I don't know what the hell is happening here. Villagers are facing off against Cavaliers. Both of them not moving, not budging an inch. There it is. I knew we were going to see it. Well, there you go. If we were going to see Paladins versus heavy Cav Archers, Hera still has a chance. I mean, not if his economy keeps getting gutted and gutted. They're sitting on the same exact villager count, the same exact military count. Their population is literally 5 units apart, but Mr. Yo is doing what he can to make that not the case, as he loses, or rather gets a converted Cavalier, but loses a whole bunch of civilian population for it. And now, he did not want to get stuck behind enemy lines. They're not facing off against the castle. 16 kills, 14 of them economic. But let's take a look. Speaking of economic, 22 kills, 14, 15 economic. Both players just tearing into each other. The bombards destroy the castle. Hera is putting together, bit by bit, an army that our Saracen is going to have a tough time to deal with. With only 29 villagers on food, he's going light cavalry. He's got to pick off these 2 Mamelukes. 3 Mamelukes now. Hera knows it, so he immediately runs away with those Mamelukes. Now, Hera's got to be careful. If there is ever a camel transition, the Mamelukes do not get any kind of bonus against camels. Ooh, looks like the light cav are here. They get one bombard cannon. Will they get a second? No. Yes, they do, actually, right towards the end of that battle. So fantastic. Get there. Let's see what's happening as always around the map. A Cavalier takes down another trebuchet. 2 more trebuchets. But Mysterio's put himself into the center of the map. He's going up to 32 Cav Archers. But we've got Paladins. And we've got 26 Paladins still a minute and a half away from Blast Furnace. Probably should have prioritized that, gotten that a little bit sooner. I mean, what's Mysterio going to do now? Oh, okay, we know what he's doing. He's going Mameluke. Okay, so now Hera has a very, very narrow window. Several minutes. I mean, what the hell is this? Oh my god! We'll keep an eye on that. That's hilarious. The Paladins close on the Cav Archers. Now, the good thing for the Cav Archers, they can just run away. 1.54 tiles per second to 1.49. These are not human Paladins, so they don't move that fast. I mean, they do move fast, but not that fast to catch the Cavalry Archers. And one manages to find his way home, even though he was stuck inside a sea of Paladins. But there is a clock on Hera now with getting 2-man saw right now. With the Mamelukes out and their elite. I mean, I'd love to see an attack upgrade on these guys. I'd love to see an armor upgrade. I'd love to see any upgrade on these whatsoever. He's getting his first one now. But they don't really need upgrades. They have a plus 12 attack. Which, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, is the... adds, I think, 1 extra... sorry, my brain just derped out a little bit. The extra HP on the Paladin, the 32 extra HP versus the plus 12 attack of the Mameluke. I was going to wonder how many extra shots a Mameluke needs to take down a Frankish Paladin compared to a generic 180 HP Bloodline Paladin, or maybe a 160 non-Bloodline Paladin, like the Celtic one or the Burgundian one. He's going after those bombard cannons again. He does manage to get one. These are not villagers. These are light cavalry units. They are going to attack pretty damn fast and pretty damn strong. But again, there is a very small window, but it's so narrow. It's so close. Ah, this is just a slaughter of Paladins now. Oh, this is not a fight that Hera should be taking. This is a throw of Paladins. The Mamelukes, they attack so damn fast. 2 seconds between attacks, and there you go. The Saracens come out on top in this round. Wow. Wow. I thought for a little bit, for the last, maybe between the 45-minute and the 50-minute mark of the game, that Hera had a real opportunity to push out with his Cavaliers. I think he waited a little bit too long knowing, or maybe planning, to get his Paladins up and running. But I think he should have hit harder against these Cav Archers. I mean, look at this. The second these Paladins, these Cavaliers can close on the Cav Archer, the Cav Archer doesn't stand a chance. I don't care about Parthian tactics. This unit attacks on an 18 against your 5 armor and 80 HP. You are not a Sipahi Turkish Cav Archer. You are not a Vietnamese 20% extra HP Cav Archer. You are just a basic Saracen Cav Archer, which, I mean, I say basic Saracen Cav Archer. It's basically has everything from the archery range, blacksmith, and university, so it's a pretty damn good basic Cav Archer to have. But ultimately this, I mean, I need to see how quick they kill these Paladins, because you guys know how much I fanboy over the Mamelukes. So let's see, we've got 13 Paladins versus 15 Mamelukes. HPs are basically identical, and we're gonna add in some of these other Mamelukes. Actually, with the 2 Mamelukes here, Hera actually has more HP and the same amount of units. Now, the Mamelukes don't actually... excuse me, my throat just tightened up. The Mamelukes don't actually have an attack bonus against each other, because if you take a look, they ride camels. And Mamelukes do not come with any attack bonuses against camels. Oh, look at that scimitar. Man, do we have fun during the live streams laughing at this unit and my love of it, because it's so ridiculous that it just throws scimitars. It always reminds me of that scene in Indiana Jones where he goes, I forget where, I want to say Morocco, and there's that big tall guy all dressed in black with the 2 scimitars, and he does his fancy maneuvers, and he flips them, and he behind the back and over the shoulder and all this stuff, and Indiana Jones just whips out a gun and shoots him. fancy schmancy handiwork aside, but let's see what happens here, because I just love to see these guys in action. So before Hera gets even a single shot off, and even a single attack, one paladin is already dead. Now there's a little bit of damage here because these Mamelukes to the back are firing, but look at that. Before he even closes, and there's another paladin here with what looks like 5 HP who dies right as I finish that sentence. And within seconds, our Saracen still has 15 Mamelukes. Their HP is down about, 150, 200? And our paladin count is halved. Not halved exactly, but for dramatic effect, we'll go with half. And our Saracen, seeing that there's a bombard cannon here, knows he's got to get the hell out of here. Reinforcements are on their way. And now look at how quickly these red HP... I mean, we're at half speed, and this is still ridiculously fast. I mean, look at the HP disappearing off these red units. Yikes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the absolute bestial power of the Mameluke versus cavalry. So I figured it would be a bit of a tough matchup here for our Frank. I thought maybe we'd see more throwing axemen. I thought maybe we'd see some hand cannoneers. Maybe some kind of infantry play. I mean, believe it or not, the Frankish infantry line is actually more complete than the Frankish cavalry line, right? Because the infantry line comes with all upgrades. And one thing that the Mamelukes absolutely suck at is taking on huge amounts of numbers that can just surround them and tear them into pieces. But let's see what the hell was going on around the map. Bombards were attacking a castle. Hera's army here to the center evaporated just as he made his opponent's army evaporate. Do you see a single red body anywhere here? No, that's the power of the cavalry units once they close. But look at their HP. They're down 1,000 HP. And wow, what an absolute fun game all the way from the beginning when Hera just pushed in with these castles, and then Mr. Yo pushed in with his castles, everyone building town centers, claiming the territory of the other, taking those resources. I mean, this is just a bit of a, you know what this looks like? This looks like a silent disco where everyone's wearing headphones and kind of just shuffling their feet, but they hear a lot of loud techno music. Tiesto's Sandstorm is playing into their heads. Let's take a look at the numbers. 58 paladins. And I'll say there were paladins, even though for the majority they were cavaliers. He didn't really fight with the cavaliers very much. But look at that, 57 cav archers. Hera, a little bit below his usual APM in the beginning of the game. Mr. Yo, right at the beginning of the game, although not at the 10-second mark like we usually see him. Let's take a look at the economies. Yeah, it's about 15% bigger economy for our Frank. What was the final villager count? 122 to 133. So we'll take a look at villager kills in a second. More trash resources for our Frank. I mean, look at this. 5,000 more gold for our Saracen. No wonder he could build 18 Mamelukes at the drop of a hat and upgrade them to elite. Stone count almost identical, which inures to the benefit of the Frank. Who's kidding who? 7,000 more wood, 6,000 more food. Conversions, 12 out of 120. 10% of the Saracen army became Frankish. All right, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. Let's see, did anyone get any unique upgrades? Was there Bimeristan? Did I miss the... I know, sorry, I don't know why I'm looking. I thought I always, when I think monks, look at the economic for no reason. Don't ask me why. I'm looking, I don't see any crown, silver, or gold. Although what I do see is a beautiful gold red paladin icon here. Gonna try to be very careful with my mouse because this system is so finicky. Look at that, 50 minutes, 45 seconds in, but Blast Furnace a little bit too late there. And he was going for light cav as well. Okay. For what it's worth, Hera was just, I think, trying to throw as much as he possibly could at his opponent. But Mr. Yo, with the economic management, was able to just pivot into these Mamelukes, and 23 Mamelukes. Somebody in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Mameluke might be one of the most expensive gold-wise unique units in the game, right? You wouldn't think it. It's just a camel unit. But I think 85 gold might be one of the most expensive unique units in the game. And Mr. Yo was just able to transition that. Look at the resources left for him. That is just absolutely bonkers. 1,700 gold. Hera also has about 1,000 gold. But what the hell are you going to produce with that gold? Light cavalry? They're going to die even faster than paladins. And wow, just an absolute epic back and forth game, multi-pronged attacks out of both players. And Mr. Yo, I have to say, final comment, just showing us an absolute clinic of how to use these cavalry archers, because sometimes, like I said before, we see even pro players, I shouldn't say even pro players, my channel basically casts only pro players. We've seen them screw up using cav archers in the past. And Mr. Yo here, he parked them for a while up north, he parked them for a while down here to the south, but the villager kills, the fact that he just made Hera constantly move his villagers, reallocate them. These guys had to go right, these guys had to go south, these guys had to run away from the woodline all the way to the castle that was here, and he just was absolutely abusing Hera's economy, and ultimately does get 20 or so more villager kills. But look at that kill count. I'm still in shock that the kill count is 135 to 103. I feel like this game, the kill count was in the 200s. I don't know why. Maybe it's all of the static defense that was going up and down. I mean, Hera's push in here was epic. Mr. Yo's push in here was epic. Hera's attempt to get the gold here was hilarious, with that one Jaguar killing his villager, discovering, and then the Mamelukes discovering. I mean, just so much action happening in this game all over the map. I am in utter shock that total kills are below 250, tallying up both players. But I mean, I could go on for about an hour about how amazing these two players played this game, and all of the various statistics, from the conversions to the cav archers to the last minute tech switch into the elite Mameluke. Even though I would have loved to see a few more upgrades on these guys, Mr. Yo just basically ignoring all melee upgrades, going pure range right up until the end there. And ultimately, though, it served him well with this Mameluke, my favorite, I should say one of my top favorite units. It is Mr. Yo, our Saracen, who just absolutely creates an army that Hera cannot engage into. These paladins down 1,000 HP. I count to 5, and this army of Mamelukes is going to eviscerate, destroy, and eradicate this army. And I think Hera knows that, decides to tap out. Not much that he can do at this point besides just throw more cavalry into the meat grinder that is the Mameluke. And with that Mameluke, it is Mr. Yo who is victorious, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.